Today we'll be making Caerphilly cheese. It's a Welsh cheese. I'll be using an 1/8 teaspoon of Micador and a 1/4 teaspoon of MA4002 culture. The 4002 culture is both a mesophilic and a thermophilic culture. The Micador just provides kind of a white powder. I have the mold and my utensils washed and sanitized. The mats. So getting late started. I've already added the calcium chloride. Now I am using 2.5 gallons of raw milk, but I just like to add the calcium chloride anyway because that just increases my yield of the curd. Currently I am at about 7 minutes left on the ripening, and I'm holding the temperature at about 88 degrees. So once this is done, ripening, I will add about 3/8 teaspoon of rennet, and then I will let that sit for, I'm going to probably test it at 30 minutes because it's good quality milk. I'm going to look for a clean break, but I will see you in a few minutes. So I actually let the milk ripen with the cultures for 55 minutes. Again, this is for the Caerphilly cheese. So now what I'll do is I will add the rennet. So I'm just going to take that out. And then, so I have about 3/8 teaspoon of rennet in non-chlorinated water. Super important to keep the chlorine out of the cheese making process. So just kind of put that in there, and then I will stir in for 1 minute. I gotta set the timer. So you just want to do an up and down stirring. You can already see that the cheese is, or the cultures are already doing their job converting the lactose to lactic acid. So you'll see I'm kind of a top down stir. You don't want to stir from side to side or like a whirlpool. So I'm going to wait about 8 minutes once I add the rennet, and I'm going to look for what's called flocculation. And what flocculation is it's kind of like when the cheese starts to coagulate, and it's kind of like when you're cooking sugar, the soft ball, hard ball, medium ball, and basically there's a multiplier. Depends on the cheese. I think Caerphilly we'll use 3.5 multiplier. So you want to do the multiplier when you get the hard ball, when you drop it into the water. I will show you more of that in about 8 minutes. So I'm about 3 minutes in to since I've added the rennet. I'm not expecting anything to happen right now, but I'm going to show you an example of the stages of flocculation. So I'll just pick a little bit of milk, and then I will put it inside, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. Right now I'm expecting it to just kind of see how it just it's kind of milky. Eventually we will see this, we will see it turn into a hard ball, and when we do, we will take the time, and that's the initial start of flocculation. I am at 8 minutes since adding the rennet. The other things, I don't know if I mentioned, but you want to keep this temperature between 86 and 88 degrees. Now, as for Caerphilly, as you're bringing the milk up, once it reaches 76 degrees, you want to add your cultures, and then stir for about 10 minutes, and then bring it up to 88 degrees, 86 to 88 degrees in 5 minutes. And then once it's there, you want to let it sit for 55 minutes. Okay, so here we go. A little bit better, but you can still, it's almost there. I'm going to give it about another minute. So here we are back about 9.5 minutes, the 9.5 minute mark. I will try it again. I think we're going to be close. You want to be careful when you're drawing this. There we go. It's definitely making a ball. I don't know if you can see that, but there's little balls at the base of the... So we're going to call that 9.5 minutes. So now I'm going to multiply 9.5 minutes. 9.5 minutes, and we're going to use a multiplier of 3.5 to get us when we're going to first check the curd. So 9.5 times 3.5, about 33 minutes. So at 33 minutes I will check for a clean break on the curd. See you in 33 minutes. It's been 34 minutes since I added the rennet. So we're going to look for, I'm going to cut into the curd and look for a clean break. I hope that you can see that. So I'm just going to do a cut and a flip up, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's a very firm curd. So the suggested time was 8 minutes. I mean 40 minutes. I'm glad I just went with 33. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the curd into 1/2 inch pieces. This needs to be done over a process of about 5 minutes in order for them to heal. So what I will do is I will just kind of cut in the center. Do that, and then I'll cut this way. So basically like a plus sign. I'm going to set the timer for 20 seconds, and then I will make another cut. So now they're vertically and horizontally cut. Now what I will do is I will I have this cheese, this curd harp. I can zoom out a little bit. Oops. So this is called a curd harp, and what this does is it will cut the curd horizontally. Slide it in. Bam. With the curd so firm, it makes it hard to cut. Alright, there we go. Now what I'll do is I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes for those two curds to heal. I'll see you in 10 minutes. So now we're going to slowly stir the curds for 20 minutes. I'll see you in, well, let me show you an example of how slow means. Try and break up the curds. A lot of curds. A lot of large whales. I will see you in 18 minutes. So I don't know if you can notice on camera or not, but the curd is definitely started to firm up quite a bit. I have not adjusted the temperature. It's still 86 degrees. But you can see the curds are about a ½ inch, maybe a little more. Just kind of going through and breaking them up. But see how firm? Definitely when you first cut them, they're very, 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 very fragile. And here I'm just slowly stirring, getting rid of the whales. I'll be cooking the curds. I mean, they're kind of cooking now, but they'll really be cooking. See you in a few minutes. So the 20 minutes is up of the slow stir. I'm going to, now we have to bump the curds and whey up to anywhere between 92 and 96 over 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this cook, and then I'm going to set the temperature to fairly high on my Breville sous vide. I'm going to do 110. So that hopefully I can get the temperature of the curd. Whoops, sorry about that. Right now it's at 88. Hopefully it'll get up there to 110 to get the curds and whey up to 92 to 96 over a 15-minute period. So right now the temperature is 86 degrees. So we got some cooking to do. So all the while that you're increasing the temperature, you want to be slowly stirring the curds, because the goal is to slowly cook the curds. If you make the temperature too high too quickly, the outside will cook, but the inside will not cook. And what will wind up happening is once you press it, you'll get leakage and bacteria, and then obviously the cheese will basically be no good. So really you want to just bring it up to the 92 to 96. Within 15 minutes is good. I wouldn't do anything less than 15 minutes up to that temperature. And then once we do get up to 92 to 96, I will hold that temperature, stirring constantly, for 45 to 60 minutes. Now, the more you cook it, the harder the cheese is going to be. So I'll probably do it till 45 minutes, because now the other thing that affects the hardness of the cheese is the amount of time that you spend ripening. So I believe the ripening time on this cheese is anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes. Ripening is when you add your culture. I actually did 55 minutes because I kind of want to. Caerphilly really is a hard, crumbly cheese. The more it ages, so I put it kind of high on the ripening time, and I'll probably do again. I think I'll change my mind. I'll probably do probably 55 minutes on the cook time. The cook time. So let's see what we're at. Temperature. We're at 87. You know, I think I'm gonna set that to something a little higher. The target preheat was 110. Yeah, we'll do the target preheat at 110. Because we still have, I'm going to do timer 15 minutes. Again, right now I'm trying to bring it up to temperature. '92 to 96. Probably do a target of 95. Because I'm sure that also affects the firmness of the final cheese. Now, I don't know if you can see, but A lot of them are fairly good sized, but some of them are very tiny. Some of the curds. It's real hard to get them all exactly what you want. So the goal is not to stress out about making sure your curds are the perfect size. Let's see what we're doing for temperature. 87. But we still have about 13 minutes left. I will see you when the curds in a way gets up to temperature. Okay, my curd in a way is at 90, well, between 93 and 94 degrees, so I'm going to stop the heat there and just keep it at 94 degrees. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the timer for 50 minutes. Zoom out a little bit. Whoops, nope. Zoom out. Alright, so we're gonna delete that one. Oops. And I'm gonna do minutes. I'll see you, and I'm going to be stirring constantly, and I will see you in 50 minutes. Alright, so the curd is done, and I wanted to show you what a cooked curd looks like. I washed my hands, but I like to sanitize with some vinegar. So just get a handful, and then you'll notice that it makes a nice ball, and then when you tear them apart, they want to stick together, and they have a nice tension between them. I've got some boiling water. I'm just going to add some heat. So I had to, the camera went bad. So I had to, I've already done a cut, one cut, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the second cut. Once I'm done this cut, I will do another cut and stack. Will be the fourth one, and then that will be it. So I'm doing these about every 20 minutes or so. So I will move that there and zoom in. So I'm washing my hands and then I rinse in vinegar just to ensure. So you'll see that I've stacked. I did one cut, one stack. I didn't do a very good job, so now I'll do it again. Just with a knife, I'm just going to cut it right about center. And this is part of the process of cheddaring. You can kind of see that the two sides have already started to meld together, weave together, I guess. So let's put it right in like that. Again, we're not looking at this point, we're not looking for anything super perfect, so what I'll do is I'll put this in the oven. Like that. Put the board on. And then I'll put this there. All right. So now I'll leave that in there for 20 more minutes. What I'll do is I'll probably do one more pressing off camera, and then I will see you when we go to break up the curd block. We have completed all of the stacking and preliminary cheddaring. So now what we're going to do is we're going to weigh the cheese. Alright, so I'm going to tear that. I'm using gloves now because my hands are getting dry. So we're going to weigh the cheese, and we want to use 1% of the weight for the salting. Zero. So 1,260 grams is the total weight of the cheese. So now what I'll do, so 1,260 times 1% is 12.6 grams. I'll do 13 grams. It's a lot of salt. So I'm just using this, now this is fine sea salt. You don't want to use any salt with iodine, that's bad. But this actually, if you look at the grains, they're fairly large. I think this is closer to a medium, but it doesn't really matter. Fine to medium. So now I will do 13 grams of salt. So that is that. Now what I'm going to do is all right. So 1260. Let's get the old calculator. I'm going to adjust the camera so that you can see. Actually, you know what? We'll do it here. We're going to cut these, or break these curds up into small pieces, about thumbnail size. Probably about that big, give or take. Again, not a perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. Takes a while too. You know what? I will be right. I'll be back once I'm done cutting this up. I keep forgetting. I just bought a pH meter. The calculated or I guess the suggested pH should be 5.6 to 5.7 at this stage. So I forgot I wanted to measure that. Five 5.9, 5.87, 5.7. Yeah, it's about between 5.7 and 5.8. I guess that's okay. All right, I will see you later. Okay, so I have the curds all cut up, broken up. Transfer these curds to a mold. All right, there we go. Now I have to go run and get my cheese press, so I will be right back. Okay, so I got the cheese press. So came out to about 44 ounces of cheese. And so when you do the first pressing, you want to do 2 to 3 times the cheese weight. I'm going to probably make it about 10. I'll just probably put it right about there for 45 minutes. And then I will come back and take a look at it. And we'll flip it over. See you soon. It's been about 40 minutes. I'm going to take the cheese out of the press and flip it over. And give it also another very light pressing. I need to go get more of an extension. So I'm going to press this again for like 40 minutes, but I'm going to do like 15 pounds. And I'll see you in about 40 minutes. Alright, it's been about 45 minutes. This will be the salting and the last time I do anything with this cheese for 14 to 16 hours. Supposedly 0, even though it doesn't really look like it, so push it down to about 20. And there we go. We will see you in tomorrow morning.